Donald Trump loves to present himself as strong and in control. But the truth tells a very different story. His behavior and public appearances keep exposing a man who seems both morally and physically weakened. The signs have been there for a while. Every speech, every social media post shows someone struggling to stay sharp. And now, his physical decline has become too obvious to ignore. While boarding Air Force One for a trip to the Middle East, a visit he hyped up as part of a supposed peace mission, he clearly doesn't fully understand. Cameras caught footage that sparked serious concern about his condition. We're going to break it all down. But before we dive into what actually happened as he made his way up those stairs, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps support our work and this growing community. Now, let's start with what Trump said right before stepping onto that plane.
Networks, everybody's very excited about this moment in time. So I'll see you on the plane. I think you're traveling with us, but this is a very special event. They had 500,000 people yesterday and today in Israel, and also the Muslim and Arab countries are all cheering. Everybody's cheering at one time. That's never happened before. Usually if you have one cheering, the other isn't. The other is the opposite. This is the first time everybody is amazed and they're thrilled, and it's an honor to be involved, and we're going to have an amazing time, and it's going to be something that's never happened before. So I'll see you on the plane, and we're going to have a good time. Okay, Peter? Nice to see you. Thank you, everybody. See you in a little while.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Gaza. Over.
You've been watching live coverage. We return now to our scheduled program. We join it in progress.
Oh yes, it's going to be incredible. Everyone loves you. That's the kind of self-congratulatory language Donald Trump is using to describe what he calls a major peace accomplishment. Language completely detached from the painful reality unfolding on the ground. We're witnessing deep human suffering and a continuing humanitarian crisis, yet Trump remains fixated on his image and self-promotion. Instead of showing compassion for Palestinian lives, reports suggest he's been bragging about building monuments to himself and even exploring new business deals and branding opportunities in the region. For Trump, it's never about peace or empathy. It's about ego, legacy, and self-glorification. Before we get to Trump's uneasy moment boarding Air Force One, where fresh concerns about his health became impossible to ignore, let's hear from Senator Chris Murphy, who offered a grounded and compassionate take on what true leadership requires in times like these.
You have a lot of differences with the president, but on this, is this a clear win?
Well, it's really important that we have a ceasefire. It's important that these hostages are coming home. And I congratulate the negotiators on getting this done. There's no politics about this moment, as you're going to see some very tearful reunions tomorrow, hopefully, as these hostages are released. But you watch those devastating images of what Gaza looks like today, and it's both heartbreaking and infuriating that this deal has been on the table for over a year. And it's been Benjamin Netanyahu, because of his political considerations domestically, trying to protect himself, has frustrated the ability to find peace and to get the hostages home far before today. So, again, this will be a good week. But as you have reported, there are big issues to come. Israel is not fully pulling out of Gaza. There's no clear path forward on what the security and governance force is going to look like inside that country. There's certainly a risk of hostilities beginning again if we don't build on this first phase and come to some decisions about what Gaza looks like heading into next year.
And President Biden wasn't willing to put this kind of pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu. President Trump has. Your point is that's got to be sustained pressure to see this all the way through. Am I understanding you?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think the barrier here has been Netanyahu, and Netanyahu is only going to move if he thinks that his relationship with the United States is at risk. And so clearly the pressure is going to have to continue to be strong and constant.
There is still an ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people being perpetrated by the state of Israel. That does not change with a peace deal that we don't know whether or not it will hold, or what really Donald Trump intends to do to make sure that it does, if he's not getting his peace prize, which I don't think it's going to come. Donald, sorry, I don't think it came obviously this year, next year either. Then really, what is his incentive? And so that's what worries me so much, especially as we have a president in clear decline, because as Donald was trying to get on the plane, you can see he was having some struggles with his little, his umbrella there. Really couldn't figure that one out. Not strong enough to close it. Literally had to hand it off to someone as he was fiddling, like trying to hide the fact that he's too weak to close an umbrella. And I want to read a tweet that just stuck out after this video went so viral for showing how weak and ineffective Donald Trump is even at closing an umbrella. If Joe Biden could not close his umbrella, there would have been roughly 1,000 think pieces in the newspapers of America questioning whether he was capable of discharging the duties of President of the United States. Now, Donald Trump struggling to walk up a few steps or fumbling with an umbrella might not be the most shocking example of his apparent decline, but it still matters. And ignoring it would be a mistake. As Ben Mycelas over at Made Us Touch often says, it's important to document every sign, every moment, every instance that shows what's really going on, because the mainstream media largely refuses to do it. Independent creators and journalists on platforms like YouTube have taken on that responsibility. People like myself, Adam Mockler, Brian Tyler Cohen, Made Us Touch, The Bulwark, calling out what others won't. Even small details like Trump's odd behavior or appearance on camera only became public discussions because independent voices amplified them. The only major network host consistently covering this issue has been Lawrence O'Donnell. That's why I'll continue to highlight these moments. It's not about mockery, it's about transparency and accountability. We can't let the right dictate what conversations are allowed or which narratives dominate the news cycle. It's time to go on offense, tell the truth clearly, and call things what they are. We started today by showing someone who's doing exactly that. And we're going to continue in that spirit with Senator Chris Murphy right here.
You have called on Democrats to stiffen their spines to stand up to the President of the United States. At what point, though, does this pain become too much in terms of the cost of the shutdown? And when are Democrats going to show some flexibility on this?
Well, I listened to the vice president, and he's just not living in reality. Because there's no negotiations happening right now because Republicans are boycotting those negotiations. They are boycotting negotiations to reopen the government because they are desperate to raise premiums on people in this country by 75% in order to finance their tax cut for the wealthy. Their only priority is protecting the billionaire class and the corporate class. The other reason the House of Representatives isn't in town right now trying to reopen the government, because they are about to have enough votes to pass a resolution mandating the release of the Epstein files. So J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's number one priority is protecting billionaires, protecting corporations, and raising premiums, raising healthcare costs by 75% on American citizens. So yes, I think that Democrats should say, if you want our votes for a budget, it can't be a corrupt budget. It can't be a budget that is going to devastate the lives of middle-class families in this country in order to protect and reward billionaires. That's a pretty reasonable request.
You're talking about the premiums that will increase an average of about $1,000, I believe, for those who are using some of these.
Well, that's the average, but in Connecticut, some families will see a $25,000 increase in premiums. And again, in order to afford a $270,000 tax cut for the richest families in this country.
Because also it wasn't dealt with earlier when Democrats were in leadership here. But you did hear the vice president say when it came to health care The administration's open to a discussion. We want to lower insurance premiums. That was a quote there. Did you hear any chance at an opening?
I mean, there are no negotiations happening, in large part because the House of Representatives isn't even here. They've been on an unprecedented 5-week recess because they do not want to risk their billionaire tax cut. And they also don't want to talk about the president's lawlessness. I mean, that's the other thing that we have to talk about in this budget. If we're going to fund this administration, we need to fund an administration that is paying attention to the law. I would be a sucker, Margaret, to vote for a budget that allows the president to then go and spend money only in states that are run by Republicans and spend no money in states that are run by Democrats.
But this is just the 7-week deal that we're talking about at this point, the short-term
Correct. The long-term budget that we pass ultimately has to require that the president not engage in mass-scale corruption. But a short-term agreement, certainly is not going to fix all of the problems that exist right now in the way the president is running the country.
Democrats have a real chance right now during this government shutdown to show the country what effective leadership actually looks like and to make it clear just how dysfunctional things become under Republican control. This is the moment to stand firm, not to cave or settle for symbolic gestures. It's time to show strength, unity, and conviction. Republicans keep calling this a negotiation. But let's be honest, healthcare isn't just a policy debate. It's a human right. In the richest nation on earth, real patriotism means investing in people, not hoarding wealth at the top. Let's focus on expanding access to healthcare, universal pre-K, and affordable childcare. Let's improve public transit and make it accessible for everyone. That's how we build a country that truly works for all Americans. While Donald Trump is busy selling slogans and hats made overseas, Democrats have an opportunity to show what genuine progress looks like: compassion, fairness, and action that helps working families. This shutdown is our chance to lead with purpose and demonstrate what real governance can be. So to every Democrat in the House and Senate, keep speaking out, keep pushing forward, and don't back down. We'll be right here amplifying that message. If you support that, please like this video, subscribe, and drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.